hello. It's so wonderful to see you. I'm so excited to read our storybook today, but I'm going to need your help. You see, there's no words in my book, so we're going to have to use our Freedom Fairy magic to make a wordy wish. It goes like this. I wish, wish, wish for a Freedom Fairy wish. Shall we do it together? Okay. I wish, wish, wish for a Freedom Fairy wish. Oh my goodness, there's words in my book. Thanks very much. Okay, let's begin. Over the rainbow, under the sun, Giggle Gumnut had been very busy. It was almost winter time in Freedom Fairyland, and he had lots to do to make sure that his Gumnut house was ready to keep his family warm. The problem was that every creature in Fairyland was doing the same. So every day he wandered across the land in search of cozy materials, and every day he returned with an empty rucksack. One fine autumn morning, he set out determined to find something. Winter was fast approaching, and he was getting very nervous. He climbed down an enormous eucalypt from his home in the top branches, dusted himself off, and wandered through the morning sunshine. All along the way, he greeted cheery Banksia fairies, Waddle fairies, and Geraldton Wax fairies, hurriedly carrying berries and fruits to their homes to store. As he journeyed out of the forest, an enormous field of ever-blooming dandelions stretched out in front of him. There were many PJ Pixies tucked into their fluffy beds, fast asleep. He searched and couldn't seem to find any who were awake. And everyone knows not to wake a sleeping PJ Pixie. Oh bother, he sighed, sat down with a huff and yawned. His home desperately needed some dandelion fluff for blankets to keep his family warm at night. Just as he was about to give up and travel on, Pippa the PJ Pixie let out a loud yawn to his left and stretched out of her bed. Oh, good morning, Giggle Gumnut. What a wonderful surprise. Oh, good morning, Pippa. I was just wondering if I could buy some dandelion fluff from you for my bed. I can offer you a song or a hug or one of my famous Lamington slices. Anything you can think of. Oh, Giggle, don't worry. We can just use our sharing magic. You are welcome to have this pile here. Wow, thanks so much, Pippa. That's very generous of you. With the dandelion fluff safely tucked away in his rucksack, Giggle carried on his way through the dandelion field to the dark, twisty magic forest. Fireflies lit his path as he wandered past the Witch's Hollow and towards the largest tree in the forest. Willy Wally the Wizard's willow treehouse stretched up into the sky, the windows lit with a warm light. In his garden, Giggle noticed something very strange. A pixie was wrestling with a fairy over a bottle of potion. Darryl the dragon was trying to run away with a big bag of wishing magic, but Gordon the gnome caught him. In the middle of them all, Willy Wally stood, wide-eyed with his hands up to his face. He looked very frazzled. Oh, Giggle, I'm so glad to see you, he shouted. It's absolute madness here. Everybody wants a warming potion, but I can't make them fast enough. Giggle cleared his throat and sung a sweet, high-pitched call to capture everyone's attention. They all turned to stare at him with puzzled faces. All this fighting is not very good for anyone, and it is making everyone feel very frazzled. I think we should think of a different way to go about this, he announced. Well, what do you suggest we do? Freeze in the winter? Our cave is very cold and we need the warmth, grumbled Gordon the gnome. Yes, but we are very small and we get cold very quickly, protested the pixie. Oh gosh, you think you'll be cold? I sleep in a flower that sways in the wind. It gets so cold, I feel like I'll turn into ice. I need the warming potion the most, argued the fairy. Well, my fire breathing doesn't work if I'm too cold, Darryl the dragon responded. Giggle thought for a moment. He remembered his wonderful friend Pippa the PJ Pixie and how she had used her sharing magic. Willy Wally, Is there any way that we could help you make the potion? That way we can make enough for everyone before the end of the day, he suggested. Oh, well, yes, I suppose you could. I could use some help collecting and chopping up the ingredients. That's a wondrous idea, Giggle. Everyone happily agreed. They all were given a task to do and quickly set about getting it done. It didn't take long at all before the first potion was finished. When they had finished all of the potions and a few more to help Willy Wolly the next day, they sat around a warm fire and shared some afternoon tea. Thank you all very much for helping, Willy Wolly smiled. Of course, Willy Wolly. Sharing magic doesn't always involve giving away the things we own. It can also be sharing our time, our talents, and our ideas with those who need it. I feel very lucky to be surrounded by so many different friends who are all able to share their time today. And even though it took all afternoon, we now all have enough warming potion to take home, which never would have been possible if we continued to frazzle you with our bickering, Giggle exclaimed. As the sun began to set, Giggle hugged his friends goodbye and journeyed home. His rucksack felt particularly warm with all the extra dandelion fluff from his sharing friend Pippa and the warming potion from his day with Willy Wolly the Wizard. He felt so overjoyed that his family, as well as the rest of his friends, would be warm this winter. The end. Wow, what a wonderful story that was. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, Freedom Fairy Flutterby!